Official action, Emmaus Main Street Partners. May 19th, the following day, is a Where to Be mixology event, Fiesta Away. Again, Emmaus Main Street Partners, and the next Main Street Partners board meeting is June 1st. Progress.
Thank you. Which leads us to personal appeals part 2. Does anyone have an appeal? Hearing none. Borough Manager's report.
I have a couple of things to discuss with you. Let's get the
Update us on
easy
the pool.
one. Yeah, I'll get the easy one out of the way. The significant revenue and expense items for the first half of May are in your iPads. If you have any questions on those,
Councilman Shipstead?
go ahead.
What's with the auto dial? The fees for that, is that like a yearly fee?
That's a yearly fee.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yearly fee. Any other questions on that? You're relentless today.
I am, sorry. I don't remember ever seeing that on your list ever.
Well, it's right. Well, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah,
Because that's
all
only
of a sudden
$4,300. So if that makes it to the
popped
top
up,
of the
I'm
list,
like,
that wasn't a bad month.
I could use some of that $5 time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like that good?
So a bit of good news before we get to the pool. Pennsylvania DEP just called yesterday. They are offering a job to one of our past GIS interns. So it's exciting to hear that at least 2 of our 3 interns they're going on to bigger and better things, and they credited a lot of the experience that they got from our project, and it's because we used them for real work rather than filing my paperwork, which I could probably use them for. So that was exciting to hear, and I wanted to pass that along to you because I'm very happy for him. I think it's a great opportunity for him. You know, he called me the other day and was excited about it, and couldn't say enough about how we as a borough have invested in interns. Of course, we have our own personal interest in that too, and that's we've saved $120,000 between the 3 of them in doing projects for us. So it's been a very good relationship. The swimming pool. So the reason why we were kind of we don't know. That's kind of the status we're in. That's the response we keep giving. On Friday, I sent you an email correspondence regarding a significant event that happened at the pool Friday morning. Essentially, there was the only way to describe it is an explosion. It wasn't fire, that kind of explosion, but what happened was our filter tanks somehow, some way, became so pressurized that they literally blew the plumbing apart, resulting in 2 borough employees being taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital. Both employees are fine. One has a very minor concussion. One has some bruised ribs and some cuts, not major cuts, no stitches. They're both back to work today. We had a very long conversation and conducted an internal investigation today as to what caused it. And obviously we did that on Friday as well. The safety committee addressed it today as well. We really think that there's a possibility of two things that occurred. One is there's pressure release valves on top of both of the filter tanks, and they were working for a period and then they stopped, and then it went kaboom. So we think that they malfunctioned. It may have been because of the pressure mounting. Sand may have came up and gotten trapped in them and froze them. Second problem was from the flood. We know that one of our the caps that you put in the pool lines, so the water doesn't go down them, when you winterize your swimming pool, one of them became dislodged during the flood. And we know that debris got in because when we flushed the lines in April, a walnut popped through one of the lines. While we were trying to pressurize the lines, and this is what it all stemmed from Friday, we're trying to pressurize the lines to get them going. We noticed that the one side, just the one side, wasn't working properly. It wasn't pressurizing. And the way that the system is set up is that it goes through the system, so everything should rotate all the way through, kind of like in a circular fashion through the plumbing system. And the one side, for some reason, wasn't pressurized, but everything else was. The feeling was maybe something was lodged in there. It only made sense. Even after the explosion, they pulled the plugs on everything else, and all the other lines were still pressurized, but this one. So there's still the feeling that maybe something's lodged in there. Our first and foremost concern is always our employees. They're okay. We're lucky. You've seen the pictures. If you haven't seen the pictures, I have them available to you. Some of the shrapnel, if you will, when it came out, it literally busted through a steel door, which was only about 1.5 feet over one of our employees' heads. Brand new steel door, I may add. And it literally bent the top of it over and hit it so hard that the door handle fell off, and we think that's what hit the employee in the ribs. The pressure was also so high when it exploded that it blew the manhole cover off. The backwash goes into the sewer across the road from the pool, which is about 100 feet away. It literally blew the manhole cover off. So the question is we know what we can see. The question is really what damage happened that we can't see. We don't know that answer. You have a pool that's from 1972, so we know that there's older plumbing. If the pressure backed up that hard that it blew those pipes apart, we don't know what damage might be underneath. We don't know what damage might be, after you put everything back together. It's beyond our capability at this point, so we need somebody to come in here, scope those lines. You can't put a sewer camera in there. They're only 1.5 inch lines. So our smallest sewer camera, because of all the 90-degree stuff, there's no way we'll be able to push that through and see if there's anything lodged or cracked or anything like that. The idea of opening the pool for Memorial Day, there's the optimist and then there's a realist. I can't give you a yes or no at this point until we have a specialist come in here, which we're hoping he'll be in here Wednesday or Thursday. There's not a whole lot of commercial pool people out there. So we have one coming from Harrisburg, or Millersville. It'll be Aquatic Facility Design Group. They specialize in things like this, just to do an initial assessment. If they have to do things to the pool, then we have to talk about bidding and consulting and things like that. But if we can get him to throw a quick camera through the lines, and it costs us a couple $100, we're going to do it. We'll do it right there and then. But we don't know if there's something underground that's busted. Don't think about Memorial Day. Think about, are we opening this year? We feel pretty confident that there's not major underground plumbing issues because the rest of the lines were pressurized afterwards. So, the feeling is that nothing really happened underneath, but we need to know for sure. I'd hate to fill a pool up and then it empty out on us, or worse, something else happened. So we have a lot of unknowns. We're going to keep you in the loop, but we have narrowed it down to a couple things. The consultant will really be able to tell us, I think, what really occurred. In interviewing the guys that were there, they felt they did everything right. They didn't do anything differently. The age of the plumbing, was it just old and worn to the point where it couldn't handle that amount of pressure anymore? We don't know any of those answers. But it was definitely a scary moment. We're very happy that we're very lucky that we didn't have further injury. But anybody that thinks that they're going to be swimming on Memorial Day in our swimming pool, the creek is available. The swimming pool probably isn't. That's real. That's being realistic. Season passes, like sales start next week. That's an unknown at this point. I mean, we'll do press releases and stay in touch with the press as we go, so that way the public is aware. We'll keep posting on the Facebook pages and the websites and things like that, and obviously I'll let you guys know. But we remember 3 and 4 years ago when something happened at the pool and it was closed for the last week of the season. We had every conspiracy theory there was. Anybody that thinks we're doing this to save money, I would invite them to go look at the explosion, because it's there. But that's where we are with it. I wish I had more news than that.
I just want to say we all read the report, and when you first read it, you're like, oh my Lord, thank God nobody else was hurt worse because or killed. And I did call both employees around 6 o'clock this evening. They're in good spirits, and quite frankly, they really didn't even want to go to the hospital. That's the type of people they are. But they did, thankfully, and for the better, too, just to make sure. And then and they're also worried that they're trying to figure out, running things through their head. It bothers them, too. They're wondering if they did something wrong, but we really don't think they did anything wrong. It's just something that they're going to have to figure out. So, and hopefully this inspection maybe will answer some questions. And one other thing, Shane, when we talked this afternoon, you mentioned that we're putting a claim in for insurance, and we might get something we don't know because there's so many riders and stuff on our insurance.
Yeah, it depends on how the policy is written, whether they determine that to be part of the building or not. That's always, you know, how insurance companies work, so we'll see. I'm taking a guess that the answer is probably no, but, you know, we turn the claim in because this claim, I don't know what it's going to cost. It may cost just a couple thousand. It may be we need to think long and hard about what we're going to do. We don't know any of that, so, and we don't want to speculate any of that either. I can tell you at the very least it's going to cost a couple $1,000s to put together the plumbing pieces that blew apart, which is probably time to do that anyway.
Hopefully the company coming in Wednesday or Thursday will give us some answers and some guidance and hope for the best case scenario.
Correct.
So.
As far as the schools using the pool,
We could just let them know that it's
yeah,
tentative. and
you know, I mean that's
I'm sure they'll see this, you know, and know, but, you know, we can let lower
Yeah.
LMMS and the 7-Gen aware of the situation, and if they need alternative.
so. Best case scenario is we can get the parts in a week or two and get her put back together.
Maybe even have it open for Community Day.
Maybe sooner. You know, I mean, right now we're only open weekends anyway. Given the weather patterns we've been having, pretty sure Memorial Day, when even if it's 85 out, it's still going to be 60-degree water.
So, anything else for you?
That's all I have.
Thank you. President's business, I have none. Is there a motion to adjourn? Councilman Barrett,
Oh,
Motion.
sure.
seconded by Councilman Schubsta. All those in favor? There are 7 ayes. Meeting adjourned at 7:55. Go Phillies.
Mayor, I have
Got the Marlins tonight.
I have a document for you to sign.